This is inherited swag. So we're going to be rolling out new swag next year. But
Nice.
yeah, this was finding stuff that fit me. And this was the only hat left. So
There you go.
I snagged that.
Looks good.
And yeah, it's nice color, embroidered. You know, they did a pretty nice job on it.
What led you to being an owner of an HVAC business?
Yeah. So when I moved back to St. Louis, I actually found my old emails from 2017 of me reaching out to brokers. I was coming off a stint as being CEO, and I did want to take a break, but my goal even back then was to buy a business way before ETA was a thing or
Sure.
acronyms put around it.
Right.
You know, I was meeting with business brokers. And in fact, the broker that I bought the business from, I had already met with in 2017. She still had my NDA, and
That's
neither of us
awesome.
really remembered each other.
That's too funny.
But I still had the NDA with this company. So even back then, I wanted to buy one. I got sidetracked with the creative things, and then that led to tech startup. From the tech startup, I got recruited to come build out the public sector division for a software company. The whole time, I always wanted to buy a business. I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. Then I met my wife. Then we had kids, and life just happened. And April 18th is the date that I will never forget. This was the turning point in my decision to buy a business. Long story short, basically, I got stiffed out of lots of commission.
Oh, man.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of commission that was due to me. The company decided not to pay it. So that night, I got on Biz by Sell. I talked to my wife, and I'm like, I'm never, ever going to be put in this position again where I'm not going to get paid. So I'm done working for other people. I've never wanted to. I kind of fell into this. So I'm done. And that night, I got on Biz by Sell. It took me almost 12 months to the day to find the company and close on it. So we closed April 1st.
That's awesome. The person I was chatting with earlier this week, a guy named Matt Carlson, runs a painting business in Minneapolis, and he has a similar story where he got terminated with like no heads up, had gone above and beyond for this bar that he worked at. This was 20 years ago. And he was like, you know what? That's the last time I'm working for someone else.
Yeah. I'm trying to build a group of disgruntled former tech salespeople that have bought businesses. There's a lot of finance and PE. I'm like, you know what? There's a bunch of tech people in sales that similar stories have happened to. Never look back. Joined a co-working space in my neighborhood, worked my job during the day, and was at the co-working space till midnight, 6 days a week, just grinding it out, searching. And once we got under LOI, it was even more intensified.
Sure.
And then running a business is stressful and harder work, but I put less hours in running a business than when I was searching, because I was working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah. And it's more lonely too. You feel like you're out there on on a kayak in a storm or something. That's cool. Let's chat about the business. It's commercial HVAC. It also seems like y'all have a somewhat of a niche within hospitality or food and beverage.
Yeah. So the business is American Services. We do commercial HVAC, refrigeration, and hot side cooking equipment, service and repair. We do not do any new construction, new builds. We'll do replacement, obviously, of existing units. And we really focus on senior living, hospitality, like food and restaurants, and really kind of the multi-location franchises. A lot of daycare work as well.
Sure.
We stay away from large industrial projects, and then we stay away from like the one-off bars and restaurants.
Yeah. Why is that? You want some repeatability, but you still want some margin in there as well?
Repeatability, there's something I kind of think of our company and the direction we're moving in as more asset managers. And so when you got multi-locations, you can really start to provide value to the client with managing your assets. So whether that's maintenance programs, swapping out their filters, replacing compressors on refrigerators, things like that. But you really get to know your equipment, and you can get some savings there when you're ordering things ahead of time and in bulk. Can't really get that with the one-off restaurants. And frankly, the multi-location operators and the franchises, they're more likely to have cash to pay you.
Sure.
And so we're becoming pickier with who our clients are now. We're 4 months in, so we're still going through our client list. We're still meeting in person with our clients. We're still getting to know them, but we have a pretty good idea of the type of ideal customer that we want to start
Sure.
going after. So that's kind of why.
And in the maintenance side of things, I saw that y'all really highlight that you have these customizable programs so folks can kind of commit to like quarterly or monthly or annually. Is that standard in the commercial HVAC market, or is that something that was unique about this company and how they operated?
It's definitely more standard and prevalent in the residential world.
Sure.
When you're dealing with one house and a couple pieces of equipment, it's a lot easier to design a program around that. It's a lot harder when you have a large franchise restaurant where, let's take example, Denny's is a client of ours. One restaurant, we service their HVAC unit, we service all their ovens and fryers, their cold tables, and their refrigeration, their walk-in refrigerators, everything. So multiply that by how many restaurants there are in Denny's.
Sure.
So it's hard to come out with a standard maintenance plan to do that, but we are working on it. We've got them built, and we're going to go to each of our clients and kind of start customizing maintenance plans around preventative maintenance mostly. But back to the asset management point, I want to be able to not only do the preventative maintenance, but I also want to give them a full asset like lifecycle management of their gear. So, hey, this fryer, it's fine now, but you may want to start and you're planning for the future. Here's how much you spent maintaining it. A new one costs this. You may want to start looking into budgeting a replacement in 2027. I was saying that type of management is, from what I can tell, not really being done at the middle market level. Large sophisticated corporations, big industrial projects that are on smart hubs and things like that, they're definitely doing that. But
Sure.
the multi-location restaurants, daycares, senior living, they're not really that sophisticated. So I want to provide that kind of value to them.
It's very cool. The breadth of equipment that y'all manage is a lot wider than residential, insofar as like everything from essentially cooking equipment to your more traditional air conditioning unit, I guess, and then ice machines and walk-in coolers and whatnot. What does that look like on the back end in terms of supplier relationships?
So my business partner handles the supplier relationships. I've got the relationships as well, but we don't keep a lot of inventory. That's a little bit of a change of strategy. I think some bigger companies keep larger inventories. Obviously, we keep truck stock and things that we use regularly. That's something we're looking at on volume, but honestly, we're not big enough yet to get a lot of volume discount. So
Sure.
it doesn't make sense to keep a lot of things around. And St. Louis, the parts houses are really good here. So we can normally get something same day or at the bare minimum overnight.
Yeah.
So we don't keep a lot of things in our warehouse. We do keep enough on the truck so our guys aren't constantly running back as well. But our plan is to, when we get to a certain size, through organic and inorganic, is to approach the suppliers and work out better, not only better terms, but being able to maybe keep things in stock that we don't keep in stock now, if it makes sense from a price perspective. But it doesn't right now, really.
Sure. What attracted you to this business? I saw they've done over 10,000 service calls, I think, to date. So they're clearly doing something right. What is it?
The business itself is more than 30 years old. Some of our clients have been there since the very beginning. So when I first saw it come across my email, I had a couple criteria. One was AI is not going to reasonably replace it in the next decade. I wasn't completely like, it has to be recurring revenue. I wasn't looking that in my criteria, but I liked repeat revenue. I love B2B. My whole career has been B2B. both from managing the construction association where they have members, and then all the software is all in B2B. I know
Sure.
B2B, I know the customer. You ever thought of having to go into someone's house and deal with dogs and things like that? I'm like, nope, I don't want to. I
Right.
like the B2B market. I know it. I can manage it. So I like the B2B aspect. I like the repeat revenue from long-standing clients. I like that AI can't replace it. I really liked that we are not a want. We are an absolute need. We had a client call us yesterday. Their hood cleaning company messed up, and they actually cannot open until we fix one of their hoods and one of their compressors. They can't even open. They're sitting there at a restaurant burning,
Just losing money. Yeah.
just losing money. That's not, you have to make that call. So we are
Sure.
a want. We're not a need. So I really like that aspect of it. And people eat in a bad economy also. So,
Yeah.
and see, we do a lot of senior living that doesn't go down in a bad economy. People are still in senior
Sure.
living, daycares. People still send their kids to daycare during a bad economy, and they have to fix things. Stuff breaks all the time in the refrigeration world.
Sure.
So that's what I really loved about it.
Yeah. On the team side, what does that look like? Are you typically dividing people up into crews, or is it like one tech going to make a service call on their own?
One tech normally on service, and then we'll have two on installs.
Okay.
So about 20% of our business, maybe a little bit less, are actually like new, full-blown multi-day installs. It's kind of like a catch-22, bittersweet, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's great to have that revenue. Those are larger projects. The margins are pretty good on a replacement, but it also takes two people out of the field for 2 days. So your service, we're a really small company right now. So your service gets backed up, and we're down a technician right now as well. So we only have 4 guys in the field at the moment, and some back office help. So we're hiring right now, at least one. I'd like to get two in there. So it's nice to have those larger projects. You need them, but it also takes a guy or two out of the field, and then service starts getting backed up.
Yeah. How has hiring been?
We actually made a hire in June, absolute rock star.
That's awesome.
The issue is he set the standard so high. Now we've interviewed other people, and we're like, no, we just rolled out. I know I posted on LinkedIn. I'm very transparent. I love that. All of our mission, our vision, our values, our operating principles, high standards is one of those. And we're just not going to compromise on that. So I didn't think we'd have to hire as soon as we had to. So I've built teams for a long time. I come in normally, and it takes me a year to get the culture the way I want it. So I thought I'm going to have to, and I want to get the culture. We renovated the office in month 1, had to be done, didn't have a choice. Don't advise it.
Sure.
My office manager, who's been there 25 years, was displaced to the warehouse and was out of sorts a little bit. She's a trooper. A lot of mistakes in the first 90 days, by the way. A lot of mistakes, but that one had to be done. But our office looks very nice. Our technicians come in, they're like, this feels like a real company. This feels like a bigger company. So that needed to be done. But I have to build a culture first, which we are getting there. Once you do that, you get the pay, which we pay top of market, if not above. So I don't think we'll have a problem with the pay. And then you got to get your benefits to above market also.
On the standard side, what is typically the challenge? Is it like the ownership mentality or the customer service?
The people we've been interviewing, everyone's skilled. So I'm not concerned with the technical ability. You won't make it past the phone screen if you don't have the technical ability. That's the first step. So now what am I looking for? I'm looking for the culture fit and the team player. And I really think about, will the guys that I already have enjoy working with this person? Do they complain a lot? Do they talk about how bad they are or bad it is at their previous job? Things like that. And I don't expect, finding someone I can do all 3, that's a diamond in the rough. It's really hard to do. So if you got 2 out of the 3, we can train you and teach you how to do the hot side stuff if you're not. skilled. Finding someone that can do HVAC, refrigeration, and hot side is very difficult. So you want to get 2 out of 3, and then the systems generally work the same. So you can, with some training, you can kind of upskill them and get them over to the other, the hot side.
Sure. But then the cultural values and the teamwork is just kind of a hard stop, non-negotiable.
I'm definitely of the opinion that we are a team. We're not a family.
Sure.
And I'm looking for a cleanup hitter right now. That's honestly what I'm looking for. I want someone that can come up with the bases loaded and bring in a couple RBIs for me. So, and I'm willing to wait. We've passed on people. We're kind of crazy. We're doing things a lot different than a lot of normal HVAC owners. We let people take vacations in the summertime, and almost never happens at the expense of us. We're down revenue. But that's the culture I want to be. You've got the vacation saved up. Who am I to tell you, like, no, sorry, you can't take your kids on vacation? I think that's ridiculous.
Right.
So we do that. We have uniforms for everybody. I know that's pretty standard now, but I think of it as a team mentality, and we care about the team. So I'm looking at what piece in the lineup am I missing? Let's go after that piece. And so my recruiting efforts are centered around what piece I'm missing.
Sure. During the first 90 days, how did y'all build trust with the current techs?
The biggest thing, and reflecting on it now and looking back, we've done everything we said we would do. And I've had feedback from all the techs, and we were very careful early on about not overpromising. So day one, we actually laid out a couple changes that were going to happen over the next couple months. All of them happened. In month 2, hey, here's a couple more things that we're going to do. All of them have happened. Uniforms, a new CRM. A lot of people got pay bumps as well.
Sure.
So and I'm very transparent about timelines too. I don't say, hey, if this is going to roll out April 1st, and then April 1st goes by and nothing happens. So the best way to build trust, especially with blue collar, but really with anyone, you have to deliver on what you say you're going to do. So if you come in week 1, your opening day speech, and you spout out all these things you're going to do, you better do them, because if you don't, and everyone will talk. Everyone will talk.
Yeah.
Like the tech guys, everyone's used to working remote. Everyone's worked on bigger teams. When you have to go to the office every day and you're out in the field, you get reminded about what it used to be like,
Sure.
So, people talk, there's office chatter, even, with a small company. So, but delivering on what you say you're going to do, that is definitely my number one piece of advice. If you're going to go in there and tell people your plan, you better deliver on it.
Sure. Looking back at the transition period, are there any tactical things that you wish you had done slightly differently?
Big time. So week 1, complete disaster. So the field stuff all went great. We were making money. The field stuff, the operation piece, absolutely amazing. Back office, complete nightmare.
Oh, man.
I have T-Mobile. I've had a relationship with the T-Mobile people. So I'm like, I'm going to switch. Let's just switch everything to T-Mobile week 1. Absolute terrible idea. 1 SIM card transition went horribly wrong. It took me 40 hours to fix it, and I'm not exaggerating. On the phone with customer support till midnight, several days in a row. Basically what happened is, on 1 SIM card, they used my personal account as the login, and they deleted my brother-in-law's phone, his number.
No way.
Completely. Yeah. He is on a very large, expensive piece of equipment in the middle of Bend, Oregon when this happened, with no service, no Wi-Fi, nothing.
Oh.
So it basically gave my office manager his phone number. So he has no number. His phone number has been completely eliminated. Her phone number is now his phone number, which is a different area code. We temporarily lost our main phone number as well, which is a very good number in
Sure.
1776. American Services,
Yeah.
1776.
That's awesome.
It took so long to fix this issue. I finally said, forget it. We're only going to do the cell phones. We're not porting over our main number. I'm sticking with
Sure.
whoever I have now. I'm done. Like, forget it. But that wasted so much time. So I wouldn't do that. And I would have installed GPS systems on the truck literally for the first day.
Why is that?
We just got them done a couple of weeks ago. Way too. I would have done that day one. If you are buying a business with trucks, get GPSs installed day one. It's $12 a month per vehicle. You'll save that in the first month. Easily, you'll save it because your guys are sitting there idling. They're hard braking. You don't know if they take their trucks home like our guys do. You don't know where they are on the weekends with it. In the first month alone, we'll save probably the year's worth that we're going to pay for that one truck. So screw changing cell phone services over week one. You can get to that.
Sure.
Just inherit whatever carrier they have, switch it over to you.
Yeah.
And get GPS installed like day one.
Yeah.
So that was a mistake. Ripping the Band-Aid off with the CRM and doing it pretty much the second month was a success.
That's awesome.
What'd
y'all switch to?
We're using House Call Pro.
Okay.
I've done several previous lives, several software implementations. My business partner's wife actually led this effort so we could focus on the field and do other things. She did an amazing job. But they were using an old system built on Access that was like customized to them. There was no app. Everything was paper tickets, thousands and thousands of paper tickets over the years that were stacked up in the warehouse. Everything was paper. And the guys would have to come in to turn their tickets in. So they could be an hour away and they're driving in to turn their tickets in.
What? That is crazy.
So I just threw away the boxes with the tickets. Just threw those away, the blank ones. I'm like, we've been using the House Call for 2 months. We're good. And all the guys are younger. They all wanted software. So I'm like, why don't I wait? Like, these guys want it. This is not a change that's not going to go over well. Like, they all want it. So my office manager just told me this morning, actually, she's like, I'm really glad you just did it. You just ripped the Band-Aid off and we just dove in. And we're still not dialed in. May was a soft launch. June was full go. So June and July are really our first 2 months. So I think we'll be really dialed in. I think it'll take 6 months to like really get it dialed in, but it's been a very good change.
That's awesome. How's working with a partner on an acquisition been?
Good. You know why I wanted to get a partner? He's one of my neighbors, first of all. Great guy, but also you can go a lot faster. So he manages kind of the field and vendor relationships and our clients. I do all the back office stuff. So all the HR, finance, accounting, tech, building out all of our SOPs, our whole hiring process, payroll, everything. So it's allowed me to kind of dig in to do that and move way faster, because our overall vision is to do this in multiple markets. So maybe around the Midwest only. We're not really sure yet, but now that we know the model, we can replicate what we're doing in other markets and do consolidation. There's not in the commercial space in the middle market like we are with the clients. It's not like residential. There's not a million private equity firms and everyone doing a roll up. There is activity, and there's 2 or 3 really good models, but plenty of room to grow in the commercial B2B HVAC and refrigeration space.
Is the idea to kind of refine the asset management approach for these multi-unit locations in St. Louis and then be able to scale that model out to other markets?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's going to take some time. House Call Pro does have a module that you can add for asset management.
Okay.
I think it's going to take a year for us to build that out, honestly. We're going to start with a couple, but once that playbook is done, I think that's going to be a game changer in our space.
Looking back over the past 4 months, what's been the biggest surprise?
I'll do a positive and a more challenging thing.
Sure.
The challenging thing has been a couple things. So vendor portals, I wasn't familiar with the different vendor portals that you have to go in order to log jobs, to invoice, things like that. So that's been a challenge. We've got that pretty dialed in now, but our techs have to log into our software and sometimes one or two others when they get to a job.
Oh man.
So that's a little from an efficiency and kind of annoying. And then the payment terms, it's B2B. I'm
Sure.
constantly looking at our DSO, DPO numbers, and the larger jobs, can hurt your cash flow.
Sure.
So that's
And do you mind just
been,
walking people through the like kind of day sales outstanding and how that impacts your cash flow?
yep. So it's your AR basically, but how many days before you get paid since you did the sale? We're at, I think, an average of 41, something like that, maybe 45.
Sure.
Most of our clients are net 30. We have one that's net 45. And then the single locations, those are all normally COD. But
Okay.
even that can be challenging. But so it's challenging week one, we come in, we're not getting paid till June really on those jobs. So we calculated, I know a lot of people have trouble calculating working capital. I actually pegged ours pretty spot on, except we got a 6-figure job awarded to us in week one. Did not expect that. And 50,000 of it was equipment that was due. When it's shipped to you, that's the clock starts tipping. Not when you order it, but when you ship. So you're trying to schedule. And I don't like big project work. I don't like new construction, things like that. But are you going to say no to $100,000 job with, we end up making 25% margin on that? So no, you're not going to say no to that. So, but that was a challenge. On the positive, the work is nonstop. The backlog is constant. We turn down new business. We don't have to do any sales. I don't care what our website looks like. I don't do any social media. There's no marketing. It's completely different than residential. I have no CSRs. We can pick and choose who we want to work with. I kind of knew that was going to be the case. I didn't know how much work there was going to be.
Yeah.
And we can go get clients the second we have another tech. We can go fill. I mean, it's just not hard in the B2B HVAC commercial space. There's not that many
Sure.
players. So think about every single commercial building you drive by, at least has an air conditioning unit.
Right.
And it
Right.
needs to be serviced. And the big companies want the big industrial work. The mom and pops, they don't have warranties and they're not guaranteeing their work. And
Sure.
there's not a whole lot of in the middle, but there's plenty of room. So it's constant work. You never, ever have a day where you're like, oh, I can't fill the board. And like residential, when they're like,
Yeah.
there's days where you can't keep your guys busy.
Sure. How do
So-
folks find you? Is it typically word of mouth or just Googling around for shops in St. Louis?
Googling, but it's interesting too. We're 0 for 5 on people that find this on Google, meaning you got the relationship. If you're Googling us, if you're new, that's cool. So we'll get referrals and like new people. Oh, you just opened. Great. Let's come in. But if you're an established business and you're Googling us and you're calling us, it means most likely that you're in trouble with your current provider. Like you haven't paid them, or they're super busy and can't get to you and you're just mad. So you're calling us. But every single time that someone's found this on Google, it's not worked out. Like we showed up
Interesting.
twice. We showed up twice and someone had already been there and then they refused to pay us. So we have a rule. If it's after hours and we get an email or call from a new client, we say no immediately. Like, sorry, can't help you. Say no.
Fascinating.
Turn down work. If it's during the day and they can wait 2 or 3 days before we can get to them, then we can properly onboard them. We can properly give their information. And then one of us will talk to them first. And we picked up a really nice new client couple weeks ago, 3 to 5 locations, sandwich shop, exactly what we'd like to do. That one actually came with, so I guess they went with a different vendor a few years ago, but that vendor never put their sticker on the units. And so the facilities director left, new facility guy comes in, he sees our sticker, assumes we're already doing the business. And he calls
No
in
way.
and he's like, well, you guys are the new guys, so come on in. We got 5 locations. Like, so stickers, everyone, stickers do work.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome.
so it's an interesting dynamic with the B2B and just being a need, not a want. They have to have someone. But Google, I don't really care. I don't care about the reviews help with algorithms, but I think at this point I got a bigger fish to fry than getting someone to do a Google review.
Sure. Over the next handful of years, aside from building out the tech team, what are you most excited about?
Building the culture and investing in the people and seeing where they go. That's always been something I've enjoyed, managing people. I love to manage people. I hated selling myself.
Sure.
I just love building teams. I love investing in people. You saw my mission statement, to create the optimal conditions for people to thrive personally and professionally. So how can I do that? I want my techs to make the most money they can possibly make. I want them to save. I want them to take their families on vacation. Be curious is another value that we have, constant curiosity. So I want them to learn. And, we're not there on a lot of these yet. So, but we're getting there. We're only 4 months in. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do over the next several years from a training perspective, from a personal investment in these guys and what they can do in their own lives.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I was curious to hear kind of how that mission statement manifested at work. And it sounds like there's obviously some stuff y'all have already done in terms of building kind of shared sense of purpose and teamwork, and then some stuff on the horizon on the training and education side.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, Scott, last question before I let you go. For folks thinking about potentially starting a business or buying one in the commercial HVAC space, what are the Scott Crosby do's and don'ts?
I've been thinking about this a lot because I am very much on a mission to help everyone exit corporate America and get into owning a business.
Yeah.
But you got to have the stomach for it. You got to be willing to get the sheriff and go repo one of your own trucks, which I had to do. You got to be willing to get a call after hours that the truck breaks down and have it towed and dealing with people. So it helps if you've got management experience. It doesn't matter if you've managed blue collar or white, it doesn't really matter. But as long as you have management experience, I think it helps a lot. You got to have the stomach for it as well. And you got to be willing to be available 24/7. You never stop thinking about it ever. Even when you're off, even when you're on vacation, you're still thinking about it. You're still checking a bank account. You're still doing that. So those are not so practical tips. Practical tips for searchers: look up and meet with your local economic development office. I can't tell you how many times I've told people this. No one's ever heard of this. So SCORE has been around forever. But look up your local EDC. My local EDC office, shout out to Lewis, was like instrumental helping me with financial forecasting and planning. They really, I advocate for business brokers for sure. There's a lot of good ones out there, but they can introduce you to local businesses that will do your deal. They can help you find lease space, and it's all free. It's a completely free resource. They also can give you access to Live Plan, which is the SBA approved business plan builder and financial forecast. Cool. They'll give you 3 free months, and then it's only like $40 a month. I still subscribe to it. It's great software. And then another practical piece of advice for searchers: make sure you sign up for Adobe so you can PDF stuff and sign stuff super quick. Because a lot of the SBA documents, the banker will just send them to you as an attachment.
Sure.
My rule was a 15-minute turnaround time on documents. So if it didn't need legal review, if it was just a form, I never wanted to be the one to hold up the deal.
Yeah.
So my banker was like, you're the best I've ever dealt with in my entire career on not only getting me the documents I requested, but post-close, sending me my quarterly financials. I have a calendar reminder. He's like, no one proactively does this. I always have to hunt everything down. I'm like, I want to do business with you. again.
Right.
So, and I want to be the preferred buyer in your network, so
Sure.
those three things: EDC, practical tips, EDC,
Sure.
look it up, get Adobe or some other thing where you can turn around documents super quick, sign, and then live
Sure.
plan.
Okay. Awesome. Super helpful. Well, Scott, we're rooting for you over here at MainShares. So thanks so much for
thanks.
giving me a little bit of your afternoon to hear about the latest at American Services.
Absolutely.